Alright, what's up, y'all? It's Friday, and of course that means we're literally a bit more than 24 hours away from the 2024 WWE Royal Rumble, and man, it's going to be a hell of a night. And really interesting thing that I noticed here, having looked at the card, there are only 4 matches, but come to think of it, that's really understandable with 2 Royal Rumbles in it. One for the men, one for the women, obviously, and you also have 2 title matches to go with it, so not necessarily a bad thing at all. It actually does go in line with something that was talked about back around SummerSlam time, where Triple H is trying to shorten the PLE model that he has as far as how he's doing the shows. And it's real interesting. It seems to be working pretty well so far, but really interesting that this is really the case here as far as the Rumble's concerned. But yeah, I got a lot of good stuff. Again, 2 title matches, US title match, WWE Universal title match, and then of course again the 2 respective Rumble matches. And a lot of interesting things going into it that are surrounding everything storyline wise, whether it's kayfabe or otherwise. Of course, a lot of things certainly start with the World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins and the situation surrounding his knee injury, which is really wild. And I want to also point out for one thing, and I feel like this is also credit to Jinder Mahal, if nothing else. But it was really interesting that they decided to have that match on an episode of Monday Night Raw, which I don't have any problem with, don't get me wrong, but it seems like something that, with the timing that they've done it with, they could have probably put it on the card. But I guess, again, given the model that Triple H is following, he decided against it, and that's why we got it. But I guess I wonder about that sometimes, simply for the fact that would this have been a way of avoiding said injury? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking that. That's just my 2 cents on it. But there's more that goes into that I want to go into where that also is concerned, especially with that particular opening segment, the go-home of Raw. And then, of course, we're about to have the go-home of SmackDown here in a little bit, but it's really also quite interesting because there's talk of some returns, whether it be from injury or free agency, one of which most notably a lot of people are talking about and they're really hopeful for at the very least is that of Sasha Banks. Not so sure about that one, and I'm going to go ahead and say not so much on that, but anything's possible. I mean, like Tripp said, you never say never. But that aside, I just really feel as if, there's still a lot to be looking forward to. I mean, there is a return, and I think a lot of people link Sasha to this, to that of one Naomi, aka Trinity Starr, who, of course, has recently completed her obligations with TNA Wrestling, and of course has been reported to be returning to WWE. And a lot of them have been putting the 2 and 2 together as far as that goes. The teases that have been posted by Mercedes Moné, Sasha, however you want to refer to her. Even Bayley has gotten in on the teaser act. I mean, nothing has really materialized of that, and I don't know that it necessarily has. From what I understanding, Mercedes is actually on the verge of completing, if not having completed, a lot of her acting obligations. And a lot of the signs are pointing towards her heading to AEW, so again, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, you never really know with these things. That's just what the consensus is as of right now. But I guess tomorrow we'll all find out one way or another. That being said, we'll go ahead and get into the predictions, which I gotta say is something I've never really done before, at least not for anything pro wrestling wise. I do a lot of predictions as far as, mostly it's been basketball or football, probably been some other stuff occasionally, really just depends. But yeah, I'm just jumping into this because I thought it'd be something different to do. And if nothing else, it ought to be pretty easy with only 4 matches. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and start with the U.S. title match with Logan Paul defending against Kevin Owens. And it's been a pretty good, entertaining storyline with this. You got Logan Paul, who's, I'll be perfectly honest with you, I mean, as far as what I make of him as a person, that's something we'd have to have a completely different conversation about. But one thing I do have to give him is the fact that his in-ring work has been nothing short of phenomenal, and just being as fresh into it as he is, especially having had his boxing ventures, him and his brother Jake, along with KSI and others, you know, just all the things that have gone into that. It's been pretty interesting to see how he's navigated into the WWE world, and really well, I gotta say, winning his recent boxing match, which, again, say what you will about that. I have my opinions, I know we all do. I'm gonna just leave that out because really I just gotta give him nothing but credit. His in-ring work, the way he works his persona as far as who he is kayfabe-wise, I guess you could argue a lot of people feel like that's a lot of his IRL personality, I guess. I don't know. I can't really say anything. I'm not trying to judge. I don't even know the guy. I just go off of things that we've seen, heard, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, they've had a really good build for this between these two, and especially with Kevin Owens and the busted hand, everything with Logan Paul threatening to sue if he shows up at the Rumble with the cast on his hand. And then with the fact that Logan Paul pretty much made the injury a little bit worse. We'll see if he stays true to that, but all the same, it's going to be real interesting. We're going to see KO doing KO things, but at the end of the day, I think Logan Paul and his shenanigans shine through, and he defends successfully. I think he takes it to Mania, probably drops it there, or maybe by Mania, who knows, but pretty cool seeing what he's done so far with Logan Paul. But with that, we'll move on to the undisputed WWE Championship match with Roman Reigns defending the title in a fatal 4-way against Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and LA Knight. And what I find really interesting about this is, you know, of course, all of these guys have cases for their one-on-one match for the championship. And, of course, Roman was wanting a one-on-one, but pretty much flushed that one down the toilet by ruining the triple threat match that would have decided that, so hence the fatal 4-way. But love a lot of the things that we got going on. LA Knight is as hot as ever. AJ Styles, pretty cool seeing what he's doing. He's going back to, haven't mentioned TNA, a lot of the things that he did towards the end of his TNA run, where he kind of did Dark Side AJ, showing back up with the all black, and then of course, you know, the way that he hasn't been so cool with the Good Brothers and Mia Yim with the OC and everything. And then of course Randy Orton, you know, wanting revenge for everything that happened to him back when he was put on the shelf. So, you know, also at the hands of the Bloodline, much like AJ. So, really interesting stuff, going to be really entertaining, but of course I've obviously got Roman winning this one. He goes all the way to Mania. Seems like it's going to be against The Rock. Hopefully they let Cody finish the story, but we'll find out. And that's where we get into the Rumble matches. I'm going to go ahead and start with the women here. As I mentioned before, a lot of anticipation. People are hoping and maybe even thinking we're going to see Sasha. Again, I'm going to say no on that, but I could be proven wrong. We're definitely going to be seeing Naomi. Maybe we see her come back still as Trinity Star, but I'm probably thinking she'll be Naomi in this case, but we'll see. Definitely going to get a returning Liv Morgan. And I gotta be honest, initially she was my pick because she actually was the last person Rhea eliminated on that apron. And I was thinking I was going to be, that combined with her returning from injury was going to be what would get her over as far as winning the Rumble, but I don't know, because I feel like we're going to get a Jade Cargill debut. And then, of course, the storylines with Becky Lynch and the Damage Control is certainly pretty hot right now, specifically with Bayley, and then there's Bianca to be considered. Screw it. I'm going to actually stick with it. Liv wins, surprise return, and she's the one that actually takes on Rhea. I don't know if she wins, but she's going to go after Rhea. That said, we've got the Men's Rumble, and man, a lot of fire that's going into this, but something else that came out pretty hot was a leaked report where, again, we talked about that opening segment from the Go Home of Raw, and it's real wild because it turns out it was reported Gunther will win the Royal Rumble, go after Seth, and then of course we have night 2 where it's Rock and Roman, which, yeah. But anyway, I don't know that I believe that's going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised to see that be the case, but I doubt it. And the reason I doubt it is because what would be the point of that, knowing that Damian is likely going to end up cashing in at that point? Initially, I was going with Cody as the back-to-back, but CM Punk is the ultimate disruptor. I'm going to go with a classic Lex Luger, Bret Hart style finish. Both men's feet hit the floor at the same time. No winner to the Rumble. Both Punk and Cody are the last man out. I mean, they kind of set it up with that promo battle they had Monday night. I wasn't going to do that at first, but that's what I'm going with. Cody and Punk are the last 2 in. Their feet at the floor at the same time. That's what I'm going with. Anyway, y'all know what it is. I went a little longer than I wanted to on that. Jeez. And I got a little more indecisive than I wanted to be about that. But yeah, y'all know what it is. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think. Disagree, agree, whatever. I don't care. That's what I'm going with. I'm sticking to it. And I'm out.